After SeaWorld agreed not to collect killer whales from Washington state waters, they needed a reliable source of killer whales to replenish and fill their new parks. And so they set up an operation in Iceland whereby the advanced team would obtain permits from the Icelandic government to collect live killer whales for export. But because SeaWorld had no U.S. permits for direct importation, they would then fly the killer whales to the Dolphinarium in Holland or to the Canadian Oceanarium at Niagara Falls, and they would stash the whales for months or, in some cases, years, while back in the U.S., SeaWorld would then approach the National Marine Fisheries Service and apply for permits to import already captured animals for their breeding program, indicating that the source of the original collections may well be unknown to anyone.
According to Hall, SeaWorld officials caught whale after whale in Iceland, shipping them from Reykjavik to marine parks in Holland, the United Kingdom, France, and Canada. And from 1976 to 1978, at least 9 whales were sent directly from Iceland to SeaWorld in the United States. In October of 1987, SeaWorld was back with Goldsberry, Brad Andrews, and Jim Antrim, SeaWorld's current vice president and general curator, operating on an Icelandic herring seiner called the Gudrun. After the 3 men were photographed on board, SeaWorld ordered them to leave Iceland immediately and announced they had been there conducting killer whale surveys. Yet an exhaustive survey had just been completed, and a holding tank in Reykjavik was filled with water and ready for whales. In the early 80s, Goldsberry built another holding tank with SeaWorld's money in the tiny town of Seyðisfjörður, from where the Icelandic killer whales were shipped not only to Europe and Canada, but to South American and Japanese parks as well. According to Goldsberry, these shipments were taking place even without the knowledge of the Icelandic government. SeaWorld's ability to skirt easily around the intent of animal importation laws led to other foreign captures of killer whales and shipments into the United States. It also led to death sentences for others.